Good evening. I'm Dennis Hartsville, Interim Director for Communities Creating Opportunity. Welcome. Thank you. Since 1977, Communities Creating Opportunity has been a compelling force in Kansas City. Founded in the Blue Hills neighborhood, the organization began its work fighting redlining and blockbusting practices that excluded and exploited the Black community of Kansas City. Built on fundamental truth that all people should live with dignity, our multi-faith movement lifts up the moral imperative to care for those who've had the least. Today, while the specifics of the issues have changed, CCO's underlying purpose has remained the same: to demand economic dignity, safe neighborhoods, quality health care and education, and racial equity in the Kansas City area. The past 42 years have been a testament to the resilience of the movement. Whether phone banking, calling a public forum, engaging voters, organizing a rally, CCO has not wavered in its devotion to its mission. We draw not only from our own roots in social justice, but also from the larger national civil rights movement of 1960s. Following in those footsteps, we ask, what inspired hope when the challenges of inequality and oppression seemed insurmountable? We found the answer in the music and creative works that have always been present throughout social movements. Tonight, we celebrate the legacy of art and social movement, because in order to fight, we must also sing. At this time, I want to welcome Mr. Lee Langston, tonight's creative director.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Glad to see you out there in the audience tonight. I am elated to welcome you to the first annual Art of the Movement fundraiser for CCO, Community Creating Opportunities. The Art of the Movement celebration is CCO's primary fundraising event of the year, which will showcase a lot of what you will see here on the stage tonight. We are sitting in a building that is surrounded by so much rich culture and so many amazing stories. 18th and Vine is internationally recognized as one of the cradles of jazz music and an historic hub of African American businesses. The 18th and Vine area also became known for its amazing nightlife, personified by the music that accompanied it. Kansas City jazz. From the nightclubs in the district to be heard were the sounds of players who would become legends, such as Benny Moulton, Big Joe Turner, George and Julia Lee, Count Basie, and Charlie Bird Parker. The jazz that evolved in the district was distinctive, simmering in the blues. Kansas City's jazz was a riff-based sound fueled by jam sessions in the district's crowded clubs. Many notable jazz musicians of the 1930s and 1940s made 18th and Vine their home, and many others got their start in this district. I actually got my start in this amazing district a little more than a decade ago, right down the street in the space that now houses the Bayou on the Vine. Just a few blocks away in 1968, at the Paseo, there were heartbroken and angry teenagers that gathered with the mayor to march down to City Hall, which would ignite the beginning of the Kansas City race riots. Tonight, we will honor several of Kansas City's own who have fought diligently for the rights of the community, people who believe that everyone just simply deserves RESPECT, respect. And while we're talking about respect, I'm going to bring out the lovely Charlotte Fletcher.
How y'all doing tonight? You can put your hands together. What you want, baby, I got. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect when you get home. Hey, baby,
Just a little
when you
bit.
get home.
Just a little bit.
Listen,
Just a little bit.
I ain't gonna do you wrong while you gone. I ain't gonna do you wrong 'cause I don't wanna. All I'm asking is for a little respect.
Just a little bit.
Hey, baby,
Just a little
when you
bit.
get home.
Just a little bit.
Listen,
Just a little bit.
I'm about to give you all my money. All I want in return, honey, is for you to give me my proper respect. Hey, baby, when you get home.
Just a little bit.
Listen.
Just a little bit.
Give it up for the band, y'all. Ooh, your kisses, they're sweeter than honey. Well, guess what? So is my money. All I'm asking is for a little respect.
Just a little bit.
Hey, baby,
Just a little
when you
bit.
get home.
Just a little bit.
Y'all can say this with me
Just
if
a
you want
little
to.
bit.
RESPECT. Yeah, RESPECT.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Charlotte Fletcher. Welcoming to the stage, Miss Natasha Ria El-Scari.
I stand in this flesh, black and earthbound, to celebrate myself as a symbol of Black history. I came from something waterlogged and discombobulated, strong and mournful, a home only etched into my African DNA from ancestors long gone, Black history. Though some think my protest means that I want to leave, I want to remind you that this Black blood and skin built this nation into a first world country. 400 years of tax and income-free labor crafted most of everything from the traffic light, the dust broom, the streets of DC, to LED screens and sports as pure artistry. Black folks invented the magic consumed on the daily. Questions and challenges spark when the powers that be can't control the likes of me. Some don't want us to speak. Press out the oppressed, break the mirror we raise to reflect self-hate. Judge me as unpatriotic and psychotic because the red, white, and blue may not mean the same thing to me that it does to you. We stand in this Constitution and challenge it in its face. We serve in this military and still denied at home plate. Yet we are all intertwined in this. Like the vine on 18th and Vine, we are side by side in this. Water, my water feeds your leaves. You need me and I need you. But first, there's some acknowledgement about what my people did for this country. Some ask, why do we even celebrate Black history? Well, I say, I am 365 days in it. Even in the dead of winter, I blaze in it. It shakes the room in my laugh. It's on the dance floor showing my class, shaking those things that are placed upon us, running to grab culture constantly pulled away from us. 28 days is just a taste of it. So I will stand in this unapologetic fist bump, praise and honor my ancestors, and like Garvey said, regardless of what is told of it, pleased is my soul with it. Thank God for giving this Black body of mine. I celebrated like it's 1999. Black History Month is my family who migrated north for more opportunity. My mother who picked cotton in the fields up until 1970, integrated angry schools and lived to tell the story. The first 5 Black bus drivers in Kansas City, built the first post office in Rome, Georgia, never stood in those soup lines in the Virginia hills. See, all these things make up the Black history called me. We celebrate to acknowledge the accomplishments. Black hands invented the magic around you. Generations nurtured on the breast of enslaved women. So I think it's more than appropriate to have a month to celebrate it. More than appropriate to give a wink to all the contributions that came to you for free. All the pennies for every dollar, paid less because of the color of our skin is Mother Earth. Black History Month isn't just peace and joy in my step. It's a wicked history, still rooted in bullets, bearing legal arms against my young Black seeds. I push through the darkness and fear and remember God is the greatest of all things. So I'll rise and I'll rise like Andra Day, following the path that Harriet Tubman has laid. I'll rise and I'll rise like Maya Angelou did, and I'll chant Black Lives Matter every chance I get. I stand before you in my Black History Month body, once applauded and twice avoided, praised like a god and positioned as a savage. I'll rise and I'll rise, shutting down the internet with Super Bowl chatter. Fist up high in formation to symbolize my pride. Only brought here for the purpose to slave. But look at us now, don't we slay? Thank you. Thank you. Lee Bohannon was a founding member of the Social Action Committee of 20 in Kansas City, an organization that arose out of the 1968 riots to establish needed community programs and teach leadership skills to young people who would then join the fight for social justice. Mr. Bohannon and the SAC 20, as the group was called, launched beautification and trash removal efforts in areas of the city impacted by the riots. They started a free breakfast program for school children who would otherwise begin the school day hungry. They even connected with and worked alongside the national civil rights movement. Mr. Bohannon, Bernard Powell, and the 18 other leaders of the SAC 20 also inspired unity among Kansas City's African American organizations, bringing many together to work for positive social change. We are therefore so proud to present the Social Movement Activist and Advocate Award to Lee Bohannon and the SAC 20 as a whole.
around. Just don't let the spin get you down. Things are moving fast. Hold on tight and you'll last. Keep your self-respect, your manly pride. Get yourself in gear, keep your stride. Never mind your fears. A brighter day will soon be here. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Yeah. Keep on walking tall. Hold your head up high. Let your dreams rise up to the sky and sing your greatest song. And you'll keep going, going on. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Yeah. Oh, just wait and see, someday we'll all be free. Yeah, it won't be long. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Oh, just wait and see, someday we'll all be free. Thank you. While sitting with Lee Bohannon during the planning of this fundraiser, he said, "It takes an imagination to be a revolutionary." I would learn of many important organizations in the city: SAC 20, Soul Incorporated, Black Youth of the East Side, Black Youth of the South Side, the Youth Organizations United, which was known as U, and many, many more. At every end of this fight, there were also women who were the backbone of this community. Lee Bohannon also said to me, "There is no price you can put on a black woman." Let me say that again. There is no price you can put on what a black woman brings to the table for her community. I want to make sure I say that right. I would like to now invite to the stage an amazing woman who happens to be one of my mentors, also one of Kansas City's amazing artists and activists, the internationally known talent by the name of Lisa Henry.
it feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say what I'm longing to say. Say it loud, say it clear, for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. I wish I could remove all the bars, ones that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and you'd agree. Every man and woman and child should be free. I wish I could give all that I'm longing to give. Lord, I wish I could live. I just want to live like I'm longing to live. Yeah, yeah. I wish I could do all the things that I can do. And though I'm way, way, way overdue, I would be starting anew. I wish I could be like the freest bird up in the sky. How sweet, sweet it would be if I found that I could fly and soar to the sun and look down, down to the sea, that I would sing, 'cause I know I'd sing, 'cause I know what it felt like to be free, yeah. To sit in my house and just be, yeah. To walk down the street and not be bothered, yeah. Nobody calling, nobody on me, yeah. Nobody getting shot, yeah. I just wanna be free. I just wanna be free, yeah. Oh, what does it feel like? 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 I don't know what it feels like. I don't know what it feels like. Can somebody tell me, please, what it feels like? Please, please tell me what it feels like. I wanna know what it feels like. What it feels like. What does it feel like to be free? Ooh,
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is a bit of an emotional time for me. But I was told that I needed to say some wonderful words about this next wonderful woman. And so I will. Rosemary Lowe is a community and neighborhood activist. She helped found Kansas City's Freedom Incorporated, an important and historic civil rights organization. She also holds the distinction of being the city's first African American committeewoman. Ms. Lowe's work has focused on strategic planning for community improvement, like increased safety and economic development. She has pursued these efforts as president of the Santa Fe Neighborhood Association, commissioner of the Local Investment Commission, and many more distinguished positions. Overall, she has helped enable police officers, neighborhood residents, and more create better places to live. It's not every day you see drug dealers voluntarily cleaning up their neighborhoods, but when you do, Miss Lowe is probably behind it. Her generosity and passion to do good have also translated into countless hours spent volunteering at places like the VA hospital and the American Red Cross. For her ceaseless work, we'd now like to give the Social Movement Activist and Advocate Award to Miss Rosemary Lowe.
So I will say, for those of you who are here, you will understand later why that was such an emotional moment for Lisa Henry. I would like to, I won't say I'll welcome him to the stage because he's already on the stage, but many of you in the community who touch anywhere on the church community, you all know Odell D. Talley sitting here at this piano. Now, I have always been blessed because I have been surrounded by amazing artists as an empath, because I'm an empath, and I absorb the amazing energy of these artists. Lisa's one of my mentors. Odell D. Talley is another one. Nothing else needs to be said. Odell, you can take over from here.
How I got over, how I got over, and my soul is back and wonder how I got over. Just as soon as I see she's the man who died for me, the man who bled and suffered, he died on Calvary. I'm gonna thank him for how he brought me. I'm gonna thank him for how he taught me. Gonna thank him for how he kept me. how I got over all the way over, and my soul looks back and wonder how I got over all the way over. My soul looks back and sure enough wonders, and my soul looks back and wonders how I got over.
Y'all show your love again for Odell D. Talley. And I would love you all to welcome Mrs. Charlotte Fletcher back to the stage.
Holy Moses, I can't live in peace. There's a man on the corner, what color is he? There's a man, doesn't matter what color he is. Oh, Holy Moses, can we live in peace? Oh, Holy Moses, can we live in peace? One more time, Holy Moses, can we live? Can we live in peace? Can we live in peace?
Welcoming to the stage, Jessica Ayala.
We won't talk about the uncomfortable. We won't talk about the deported. We won't talk about those working 3 jobs with 3 kids and one on the way for less than minimum wage because they can. At the dinner table, we won't discuss the Chewies who have died inside of Eloy's detention centers, or the thousands of children traveling in busloads from Guatemala to America. We won't talk about the little girls crying in the front yards of America, because who will be their fathers now? We won't talk about the deported. We won't talk about the uncomfortable. We won't talk about the invisible. We won't talk about those working 3 jobs with 3 kids and one on the way for less than minimum wage because they can. We won't talk about La Bestia, or the mothers who feed it on a daily, or how we just keep taking our lives at the border. We won't talk about the uncomfortable. So when they ask about the word huelga, I tell them that it means to resist, to protect our grandmother tree of dignity and its branches of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You see, huelga means to halt. It means to dismantle. Huelga means to boycott. It means to strike. Huelga is for all of my brown people who rise before the sun meets, whose brown hands and small frames, they give us our daily foods to eat. Huelga is for every bracero hidden in the fields of our country. El sudor de tu frente blesses the rich and the hungry. Huelga por Dolores Huerta, nuestra reina de la lucha. With 3 biblical words, you transformed every aspect de la lucha. Huelga de low wages, no payments, no break times, for one day, for this day, for right now being our time. Huelga de accents who take your Happy Meal orders, who cut green grass along those state line borders, housekeepers who keep more than just houses, to the quiet ones behind you picking up after the masses. Huelga es por mis hermanos que trabajan de noche y día. Huelga es por los niños refugios de Honduras un día. Huelga por César Chávez, por Elvira Arellanos, por los desaparecidos 43 hermanos. Huelga because we're beautiful. Because our gold, it don't crack. We're the children of Tepeyac, hechos de oro, los que traen esperanza. Esa es mi raza. Huelga, huelga. So when they ask about the word huelga, I tell them that it means to resist, to protect our grandmother tree of dignity and its branches of life. Liberty and the pursuit of happiness. I am very honored to be here this evening. This has been a beautiful night to share with the community and with our hermanos, and it is even more of a privilege for me to share something so beautiful as another incredibly beautiful queen's success in Kansas City, as I am also a fellow citizen of Kansas City, Missouri. Mammy Hughes, yes, already, is a community activist who pushed for the economic development of the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District, Holocaust remembrance and education, and Meals on Wheels program here, right in our city, just to name a few of her diverse accomplishments. A tireless advocate for women, Ms. Hughes' mantra, listen, ladies and gentlemen, was, the man who says it cannot be done should get out of the way of the woman who is already doing it. Así se habla, así se habla. She in fact founded the Central Exchange to help train and develop women leaders. Ms. Hughes' most daunting struggles may have been the battle against the Jim Crow segregation and the discrimination in Kansas City's restaurants, stores, and other spaces, and the controversial construction of what is now Bruce R. Watkins Drive. When Kansas City wanted to cut the black community in half with a new highway, as had been done in many states across the United States, Mammy successfully fought to make sure cross streets and bridges would prevent this, and that residents would be properly compensated for their displacement. Sí, señora. It is my pleasure tonight, my spiritual pleasure. Please give a warm congratulations to Mama Mammy Hughes as we present to her the Social Movement Activist and Advocate Award. Felicitaciones.
Thank you. I'm not Mamie Hughes. But she couldn't be here tonight. But we're going to accept this award for her and make sure that she gets it. Thank you very much.
Please give a warm welcome, returning to the stage, Natasha Ria El-Scari. She will be accompanied by the amazing artist that you see to your right, Mr. Warren Harvey.
Fear is never more creative than truth. Fear relies on the throttle of shock. Fear is never strong enough to sustain, but it is ever present, hands arched, grabbing dreams. But you get to take fear out on the dance floor. Flirt with it, bring it close, spin it out, breathe with it, breathe with it. You know you love it. You know you love it because you know it. I mean, it's been there. Ain't never left you, so you keep it, don't you? How do you experience fear? I experience fear through my thoughts, and then I feel it in my stomach, and then in my body, I don't know. I experience fear through time. I get paralyzed and addicted to the power of the passing hours and tell myself not to try. Doubt and fear are insatiable lovers that feed on apathy. They survive in the swamps of the mind that is fertile with muck and pain, but practice smooths the shock of fear. 10,000 drops of try can drown fear's voice permanently. Fear relies on the connection of unhealthy molecules that tie you to the belief that nothing good is for you or coming to you. Oh, but I know the truth. Action dilutes fear. Action dilutes fear. Action dilutes fear. One night, mid-morning or afternoon, you will shake that wrestled rapist posing as lover off you. You will get out of bed, wash your sheets and flesh, and tackle that thing, that one call, that one assignment, that one task that's been blocking you, 'cause love don't feel like this. How do you confront fear? By just in time. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Or I keep telling myself the opposite, telling myself the truth about who I am. I use my voice and I move out of fear. I use my expression to move out of fear. I chant. I create a mantra in the moment and I breathe deep until I am dizzy because fear steals my breath. I realize when I chant, I hadn't been breathing. I affirm and reach out and ask for help when I feel choked out. What is your antidote to fear? Love. Love. Action is your cape. Do it anyway is your mantra. Do it anyway when it constricts your throat. Do it anyway when they laugh in your face. Do it anyway when you look at the blank page. Do it anyway when you want that first date. The biggest bully you will ever face is your own fear. The biggest bully you will ever face is your own fear. The biggest bully you will ever face is your own fear. And how do you know when you're experiencing joy? Just the feeling, the freeness, the lightness that comes from joy. The absence of the heaviness I am familiar with, feeling free, positive, and peace. The energy of bliss and being still. When I feel accomplished, when I'm in action and can check off a task or a goal and say that thing is done, it feels euphoric and sexy. Action dilutes fear, do it anyway, love. Action dilutes fear, do it anyway, love. Action dilutes fear, do it anyway, love. Action dilutes fear, do it anyway. Love, love. Love. Thank you. That was beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, Warren Styles Harvey. Back to the microphone, Mr. Lee Langston, my best friend and colleague. Can I do one more just one more? Thank you.
That's my best friend, y'all.
Mother, mother, there's far too many of you crying. And brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Oh.
You ask me what I believe. I am a citizen of the world. Siesta every Thursday from 12 to 3 with Jessica. Pray 5 times a day quite religiously because it feels the need in me. I flip the tarot cards, follow the void of course moon to make decisions about what business deal to do. I kuyate mano nano mayote to acknowledge the dolphins and will hold hands in a circle on a full moon to pray it away. My jihad goes against the system but in Gandhi's nonviolent way. I am a citizen of the world. Ask me what I believe and I will tell you there is just something sacred about the blood and body of Christ. Ask me what I believe and I will tell you as I bow and namaste that meditation is what leads me. Rosary beads lay next to my lip gloss and when I wear a head wrap, it's like a yarmulke because I want to remember that while my mother is the highest here, there is but one that is greater, the Most High.
Picket lines and picket signs. Don't you punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Oh.
I am a citizen of the world. In me there are no walls. There is not a building, not a synagogue, not a mosque, nor outside pagan ritual or festival that can control or confine me. I am heathen and saint, I drum beat, I dream catcher the evil spells and cast them with a pendulum that vibrates to balance my chakras, all the while believing there is no adversary to the Most High. I try not to lie when you ask me, how are you today? I cleanse my space with sage and lavender and chant, love is love, God is love. See, I take the pieces of the pieces that make the peace all around me. I am fraction upon fraction upon fraction of broken culture, oppression, and compromise, and I am still whole.
Father, Father, everybody thinks we're wrong. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Because our hair's so wicked long. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Oh.
I now know and I do believe that the me there is made up of all these things. So I can keep my grandmother's hymns, my grandfather's blues, my mother's commitment, and my sister's command of the dance floor. And I can be all that and more and more and more, unfolding again and again on this one or any other dimension. So my heart is all the passport I need to claim universal citizenship and infinite expressions of the Most High, Mama Earth, Holy Spirit. I am true to myself, and so it is.
Oh, picket lines and picket signs. Don't you punish me with brutality. Say, talk to me so you can see. Oh, what's going on? 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 Oh.
Thank you. I am honored to present our next honoree, Reverend Samuel E. Mann. Reverend Samuel E. Mann is a longtime activist in the fight against racism, marching in many demonstrations at home and across the country. A pastor since he was 15, Reverend Mann has in fact been dismissed from 2 churches, one in Kansas City and the other in Peculiar, Missouri, for his advocacy for racial justice and peace. Reverend Mann, the retired pastor, administrator of St. Mark Union Church, was part of the U.S. delegation that visited Nelson Mandela immediately after his release from prison, alongside Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Reverend Mann also served as a key participant in the national effort to respond to the burning of black churches in America. He ceaselessly encourages white congregants to face their racism and work for social betterment. And he walks the walk, having overseen programs around child and family development, social services, housing, community development, and violence prevention in Kansas City. Reverend Mann, this social movement activist and advocate award is for you. Show him love, everyone. I spoke earlier about one of my mentors, Lisa Henry. She came out on stage, and I know what it's like to look down at the first couple of words of a song lyrics, and they hit you, and tears come right while you're there, and you just have to be vulnerable in front of everyone in the audience and then go on with the song. As artists, we often have to do that, and I would like to invite Miss Lisa Henry back. She's going to tell you a little bit about herself and why this period of time, this week, is very important to her. Please welcome her back to the stage.
How about another hand for Mr. Lee Langston? He makes this look so easy. It is not easy hurting all of us artists and getting us into our spaces. So I thank you for indulging me. Activism hits you at the most inopportune moments. Those moments where you don't even think you have to be an activist about anything. Because I'd heard somewhere that we had a post-racial America. Yeah, you heard that too, didn't you? So I thought, oh, okay, we done with this. Yeah, we might have a few little racist scragglers, but for the most part, you know, it's kumbaya, and this is all done. And it hit my family very hard. I do a one-woman show called Dear White People, in which I talk directly to white America about the experiences of black people. And it's funny and it's sad. There's a character named Miss Aurelia, and she comes to talk to all of the white people and let them know that, you know, some of the things that they learned in first grade, they've obviously forgotten. You know, things like don't steal other people's stuff, like their land. Don't hit people, you know, because Miss Aurelia is the first grade teacher, you know. And so throughout this one-woman play, at the very end, I talk about the good black family whose son and brother was taken away by the Leavenworth and Lansing Police Department. My brother Curtis, he was 20 years old, he was in college. And he was a beautiful spirit. He played the bass guitar, he did. And he would go jam at the coffee shops. And he had this beautiful, beautiful worldview, a worldview that said, you know what? Color shouldn't matter. And I had forgot, as his older sister, see, we grew up on military bases and in the suburbs, but we got to see my big mama in the projects growing up. So we sort of knew the difference. Curtis, he thought color shouldn't matter. So he developed this relationship with this cute little white girl. And we're still talking Leavenworth, Kansas. You don't progress much in certain areas. And she had been to the house and she had broken bread with us. We had met her family. She had met our family, because we were the good black family, military family. Mama worked government job. We were the good black family in the suburbs. So, as things would happen, couples get into spats. It happens. So my brother, of course you know, in Kansas, the Midwest, I think every young man around the age of 13, 14, they got a rifle somewhere. So my brother was just learning how to shoot, so he had some friends of his, and they would go out to the shooting range. My brother was terrible, but he wanted to learn. And so this particular day, he took his rifle, and it was in the back of my old yellow Ford that he inherited as a college car. And so he and his little girlfriend were having some problems. And I remember right before the event, I had some time with my little brother. And we were driving somewhere, and I said, you know, I just want you to realize that I know you like her, but things haven't changed that much in America. Realize that you are a young black man dating a white girl. And that still carries with it all the stuff it always has. And he yelled at me. My little brother yelled at me. He said, I'm so tired of y'all talking about color this and color that. Color just shouldn't matter. Who you love should not matter what their color is. I said, Curtis, I just want you to be careful. He was young, and we were the good black family in the suburbs. So he's on his way to the rifle range with his friends, and his little girlfriend worked at one of the local diners. And so he stopped off there. I guess they had been arguing. She was on a break. And so she came outside. They were arguing, as young couples do. Somebody else came out, saw the rifle in his car. And before my brother could get down Highway 7 real good, he had SWAT, the Leavenworth police, the Lansing police, and the Kansas City, Kansas police surrounding him because somebody had called in a call about a white girl possibly being threatened by a black man with a rifle. Now, my brother, he was the sweetest spirit, and he believed color didn't matter. Before he knew it, and I can only imagine what was going through my brother's mind, because this had never been his life. He'd never been in trouble with anybody. Because, see, we were the good black family in the suburbs. Mama made sure that when we went to restaurants, we knew what the little bowl was for and what the little fork meant. Mama made sure that even if we only had $5 to buy a Coke, we sat there with dignity like we belonged, and we sipped that Coke like it was gold. That's the upbringing I had, because we were the good black family in the suburbs. There was a police standoff, and they called it a standoff. It's kind of funny, because really my brother was just in the car, probably frightened out of his mind, wondering what in the world happened. What is this? What is going on? The way the report reads, whichever one you want to believe, somehow the police couldn't get all the reports the same. There was a noise distractor that was thrown into the car, and all of a sudden, my brother was dead. You know how you have a dream that seems so real, and you wake up and you sit in bed for a minute and you just kind of shake it off. Make sure that was just a dream and you're back in the real world. My mama called me at 3 o'clock in the morning. To this day, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning screaming that her baby had been killed. My baby brother, her baby boy. I can't tell you the nightmare that this has been, but I will tell you there is nothing more degrading than a mother not being able to give an open casket funeral for her baby because his head is blown off. And the only way I recognize my brother is he had these beautiful long hands that he used to play his bass with. We viewed him and it was wrapped. She couldn't see her son to say goodbye. The day of the funeral, people are at the house and there's a phone call that comes through. Now, previous to the day, we didn't have social media the way it is now, but the news was all over it. They went to the house of a little white girl and her family, and they asked about my brother. And their response was, oh, I think he might have just been some sort of classroom friend. We don't really know him. Because we were the good black family that they had broken bread with many times. Call came through on the day of the funeral, and Mama was looking at the baby book of a baby. I got the call, and on the other end is the white girl. I don't know how I kept my composure, but she said to me, as God is my witness, she said, you know, I really would like to come and pay my respects, but I don't want anybody to hurt me. And my mind said, did that heifer just say, what? And it's only in those moments I know that God or somebody took my mouth. And I said to her, listen, sweetheart, if you believe that we, the family that you have broken bread with, the family that you have come over to our home just to hang out with my brother, if you think that we, while looking at the casket of my dead brother without his face, if you think that we are those kinds of people, please stay where you are. But if you would like to say goodbye to him, you do so in whichever way you think is correct. And I hear my mama say, who's on the phone? I said, nobody, mama. Nobody, mama. Wrong number. Many years have passed. Saturday will be the anniversary of my brother's death. It never goes away. And when I tell this story to white audiences, now I quote Toni Morrison. May she rest in peace. This thing called racism, you need to figure out what you are going to do about this. Leave me out of it. And it continues. Every time a black man is killed by police, I see my brother. Every time a black man is killed in his home eating ice cream, I see my brother. Every time, I can't rest. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. See, we were the good black family. The suburbs didn't march for us. The suburbs didn't say, oh, no, justice for that family. We've known them for a long time. Suburbs said, we don't really know them that well. My activism began that day. I've lost friends, good white folk, who didn't or were uncomfortable with me speaking out about the very real racism that I face every single day. Because you see, funny thing, when they shoot your brother, they don't ask you things like, okay, before we shoot you, has your sister been to the White House and performed? Is your father a decorated military man? They don't ask you that. They don't. But to take a line from The Color Purple, till you do right by me and my people, everything you think about is gonna fail.
Please show Lisa Henry love again. I would like you all to direct your attention to the amazing drummer sitting there. His name is Kevin Church Boy Johnson. We know him as Church Boy because, well, I won't tell you why. You'll hear it in his voice in just a moment with a song that you all will know well.
Good evening, everybody. It's a blessing, and I'm so humbled to be here to honor those that have been activists for me you are welcome to sing this song with me. I feel it's appropriate. After Miss Lisa Herring, can we give another round of applause, please, for Miss Lisa Herring? Y'all bear with me. The song simply says, "We shall not be moved." We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved like a tree planted near the water. We shall not be moved. Oh, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved like a tree. Excuse me. Yes, come on, y'all. Y'all welcome. We shall not be moved. The union is behind us. We shall not be moved. The union is behind us. We shall not be moved like a tree planted near the water. We shall not be moved. I said we fighting for our freedom. We shall not be moved. We fighting for our freedom. We shall not be moved like a tree planted near the water. We shall not be moved. Oh, we fighting for our children. We shall not be moved. We fighting for our children. We shall not be moved like a tree planted near the water. We shall not be moved. I said I'm fighting for my children. We shall not be moved. We're fighting for our children. We shall not be moved like a tree that's planted near the water. Ooh, we shall not be moved. Oh, sing it with me, yeah. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved like a tree that's planted near the water. We shall not be moved.
Kevin Church Boy Johnson, everyone. Last but certainly not least, it is my honor to announce this next honoree, Mr. Reverend Wallace Hartsfield. Reverend Wallace Hartsfield is known as the godfather of the African American community in Kansas City. He was the spiritual leader at Metropolitan Missionary Baptist Church for over 40 years and has been involved in civil rights and justice issues throughout his life in the Kansas City area and nationally. He marched alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., worked with Jesse Jackson in Operation Push, the effort that began in Chicago to fight African American poverty, and was involved in the leadership of the National Coalition of Black Churches. Even today, Reverend Hartsfield's work continues. He is a current board member of the Congress of National Black Churches. He helped form and helps lead the statewide Human Dignity Economic Justice Coalition, supporting solutions to issues around race, labor, healthcare, economic empowerment, and community development in Kansas City and beyond. We are therefore pleased to present the Social Movement Activist and Advocate Award to the Godfather, Reverend Wallace Hartsfield. Now, who better to welcome to the stage Dennis Hartsfield Thompson.
I'm not Dennis Hartsfield. My name is Reverend Susan McCann. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote in Why We Can't Wait that songs were the soul of the movement. He said, activists sing the freedom songs today because we too are in bondage, and the songs add hope to our determination that we shall overcome. Black and white together, we shall overcome someday. Thinking about how music and creative works have inspired social movements and vice versa, and just how important it is to honor civil rights heroes, one cannot help but think tonight about the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. November 5th is coming up soon, and November 5th is a very important day for Kansas City. The November 5th ballot puts a question before the people, and the question is this: should we preserve Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard? Now, I am well aware that this issue is not one on which we all agree, but as the president of the Board of Communities Creating Opportunity, I am proud to say that we are firmly in solidarity with those who want to preserve the name Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We have chosen to stand with those who wish to keep the dream alive and save a truly historic achievement in Kansas City. And the primary mover behind the establishment of this grand boulevard in honor of the most prophetic voice of our lifetime is here with us tonight. And so I would like to invite a prophet in his own right, the Reverend Dr. Vernon Howard, to come speak a few words to us. Dr. Howard.
We greet you in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Thankful to God the Father. Thankful for the precious third person of the triune Godhead, the Holy Spirit. We are thankful for this opportunity as we stand before you on behalf of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference of Greater Kansas City and the St. Mark Church, which I am blessed to serve as the senior pastor of. We are thankful for communities creating opportunity. And what an awesome demonstration tonight of the art of the movement. I wondered what to say in these closing moments. And I thought to myself silently and spoke to God quietly and thought that I would share with these powerful activists and advocates for us what you have done for us. You've given us courage, Papa Hartsfield. You have been an example of what it means to stand fearless. You have shown us how to walk before God and God's people. You have demonstrated that God is worthy to be praised. And you have demonstrated, and this is what I love the most, you have demonstrated that no matter what the forces arrayed would come together and stop us from our freedom, we owe it to our ancestors to keep on fighting. You have given us spirit, Reverend Man. You have given us something more than what we look at. You have given us something more than what we can see. You have given us something more than the physical world around us. You have pointed us, great prophet, to a God that sits high but looks low. And you have assured us that a white boy from Alabama can break the bounds of racial discord and heal and mend our communities. We love you for that. Rosemary Lowe, you have shown us, hallelujah, that a woman can stand up and be a strong, proud voice in our movement for freedom. Rosemary Lowe, you have told us that we should never quit, but always stay grounded. And when those who have made it start trekking their way south of Bannister, west of Van Brunt, I don't have a witness, east of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and north of the river, we gonna stay right here, build our communities, raise our children, love our families, and vote in our own interest. Lee Bohannon, I saved you for last because in 1968 I was a 5-year-old child at Linwood and Benton, running up and down Prospect Avenue, running in and out of St. Joseph Hospital, up and down Annunciation Catholic School, in and out of the Central Blacktop, and getting a little Velvet Freeze ice cream on the side from 31st. And y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But when grandma didn't have nothing to eat, and mama was working 20 hours a day, and daddy was gone to the penitentiary, and big brother was working trying to help grandma, and big sister was babysitting to help put some food on the table. Grandma put my jeans on. Grandma put my white t-shirt on. Grandma licked her finger on her lips and cleaned the ashes off the side of my face. Grandma took some Vaseline, put it on my elbows, rubbed my head down, and said, boy, walk down Linwood Boulevard to Prospect Avenue. Turn right and go down there and get some bread and get some learning and get some cheese and get some food for our house. SAC 20 was there, Lee Bohannon. For children like me, I will not leave our community. Here's what you gave us. You gave us faith. The same faith Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave us. And I'll tell you, on November 5th, I'm going to the ballot and I'm going to preserve the honor and dignity and legacy of the greatest prophetic voice in the history of the United States of America. That's my obligation to my people. You gave us faith. Faith that sees the invisible. Faith that reaches the unreachable. Faith that fights the invincible. Faith that stands against the indomitable. Faith that can conquer anything. Kansas City, stand up and be a part of the movement with CCO and SCLC and Sam Mann and Wallace Hartsfield and Mamie Hughes and Lee Bohannon and Rosemary Lowe, and we will get to the promised land. Stand up! Stand up! Wow.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. It's always a privilege to hear your passionate and eloquent speech. So I say to you, if you would like to get involved in this issue or any of the CCO's campaigns around racial justice, health care, early childhood, education, economic dignity, or violence prevention, please get in touch with us. CCO.org would be the most convenient way. We would love to have you join our work. As we prepare to conclude this evening, there are so many thanks to give to our honorees in their decades of pushing for justice, to our sponsors and our patrons, to all in attendance, to our incredible artists. Thank you. And a special thank you is owed to Lee Langston, the creative director for tonight. This would not have been possible without him. Now, I would be remiss if I did not introduce and recognize CCO's board of directors. Reverend Susan McCann, you've already met. She serves as the president. The other members include Ms. Teresa Bird, Mr. Elliot Clark, Reverend Kenneth Piggy, Mr. Toriano Porter, and Reverend Cynthia Sadler. Dr. Rex Archer is also on the board. However, he's out of the city this evening and is unable to attend. Now, I say to each one of you on the board, thank you for your faith and support in my ability to lead Communities Creating Opportunity as interim executive director. I really appreciate your vote of confidence. Now, if you observed over here the artwork, the live painting, We will be auctioning off Warren's incredible painting this evening. The proceeds will benefit CCO's work. If you would like to participate in the auction, go to cco.org/movement. Many of you went there to buy tickets. Now there's an auction for the painting. The auction will close on Thursday, October 24th. Again, thank you all. And now it's time for our grand finale with all our artists.
All right, everyone. Have you all had a good time this evening? We thank you all for joining us and giving up your time. And you know, if you hadn't had a chance to sing anything tonight, you can sing as loud as you want on the way out. We thank you all for being here. Come on out, y'all. I'm gonna invite the cast out. Some will be singing and some will be doing a two-step. As Natasha goes, nope, I'm not singing, I'm not singing. You all, please give it up for all these amazing artists that you see. I want to make sure that the band gets acknowledged as well. We've got Odell Talley, Church Boy, Kevin Johnson, and Mr. Ben Williams over here on this bass, y'all.
Give it up for Lee Langston.
Thank you. I'll come back here with you all.
I was born by the river in a tiny little tent. Oh, and just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, and I know a change is gonna come. Change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's out there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, and I know a change is gonna come. Change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. When I go to the movies and I go downtown, somebody's telling me, a long time coming, and I know a change is gonna come. Change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Oh, then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, won't you help me please? Oh, but then he keeps on knocking me. Hey, hey, knocking me right back on my knees. Oh, there were times when I thought
change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. You all, please give it up for Jessica Ayala, Natasha Ria El-Scari, Charlotte Fletcher, Warren Harvey, Lisa Henry. Please give it up for all of your honorees. Is there anything else I'm forgetting tonight? And please give it up for CCO. For all of the work they've been doing since 1977. I was born in 1977, so I'm like, oh, y'all been doing work. Got it, okay. And again, we all thank you for supporting. Please continue to support CCO. If you have any questions, there are people in the room that can answer them, or for those technology savvy people, www.cco.org, I believe is that website. Oh yeah, we can't forget all those people. So they always get left out, and I almost did it, and I know better than that. Please give it up for the sound and lighting team in the building, because the reality of it is, if the sound people weren't here, we would sound horrible. And if the lighting people weren't here, you wouldn't see us. It'll be real dark. Also, give it up for there are many videographers in the building. I want you to show love to all of them. It is a daunting task putting these fundraisers together. Thank you all, and please drive safely, and I believe that is everything. Support all of your artists as you make your way out. There are tables out there. There are books. There is art. There's DVDs, there's CDs, there are many things. Stop, visit them, they'll hug you, they'll talk to you, they will answer questions. And I think that is it. That is it. You all have an amazing evening. Until next time, it's been a long